I think most people have a vision for the life that they want. A life with peace, a life with purpose and strong relationships, a life with meaningful work and financial stability, with time freedom to choose what you want to do, a life that feels aligned with who you truly are. The problem isn't that we don't know what we want. The problem is that we often expect that life to somehow build itself. And lately I've realized something. That life that I want isn't going to happen just because I think about it, right? It's going to happen because I build it, that I consciously chose to get up and build it. So there's the dream versus the reality, right? There's a reason that most people sleep instead of wake up and actually live their life. And it's because their life outside doesn't align with who they are and what they believe that their life should look like on the inside. So they choose to dream instead. And for a long time, I spent a lot of energy imagining the future, right? Thinking about what I wanted, thinking about where I wanted to go, thinking about the kind of man that I wanted to become. And there's nothing wrong with that. Vision, it matters. Goals matter. Directions matter, right? But eventually I started to realize something. Wanting a better life and building a better life are two completely different things. One requires imagination, the other requires responsibility. So here's the hard truth, right? At some point, I had to accept a difficult truth. Nobody was coming to build my future for me. Nobody was coming to create discipline for me. No one was coming to create peace for me. And no one was coming to create purpose for me. Those things aren't found by accident. They're built intentionally. And while that's a heavy realization at first, it's also an empowering one because it means that your future isn't determined solely by your circumstances. It's shaped by your choices and the decisions that you make. I'm going to tell you the power of small compounding decisions. What I've started noticing in life is that life changes much slower than we expect, right? And much faster than we actually realize. Most transformation doesn't happen through one massive decision. It happens through hundreds of little small decisions that we're making throughout every day. Every decision compounds. The decision to wake up when you said that you would, the decision to keep your word, to stand on the back of that, the decision to exercise, the decision to learn something new, the decision to be present, and the decision to have a difficult and hard conversation, the decision to do what you know is right, even when it's inconvenient. None of those decisions seem life changing in the moment, but over time, they become your entire life, right? There's a compound effect that takes place here. And I think one of the main reasons that people get discouraged is because progress often feels invisible at first. You just make the right decision today and nothing changes immediately. You make another right decision tomorrow, still nothing changed. A week goes by, a month goes by, and it feels like you're standing still. But underneath the surface, something is happening. You're laying the foundations, you're building the habits, you're becoming someone different. And eventually, what was invisible becomes impossible to ignore. So here's the difference between drifting in life and actually building a life, okay? Because I've realized there are two really completely different ways to live. You can drift and you can float and you can have no rudder, right? You can have no computer navigation system that gets you where you need to go. And so you just go in circles. Or you can build. Drifting means allowing life to happen to you. Building means you're taking responsibility for the direction that you're moving. Drifting is reactive and building is intentional. Drifting hopes things improve and building creates improvement. Well, none of us actually control everything. We control more than we sometimes think and let off. So here's a stewardship principle for you. Lately, I've been thinking less about achievement and more about stewardship. How am I using the time that I've been given? How am I using the opportunities that I've been given? How am I using the talents that have been given to me to be put into work for this world? And so that they can come back multiplied, right? How am I using the relationships that I've been given? Because one day we'll look back on all our lives, and I don't think the biggest question is going to be what we think we wanted. I think the question is going to be what we did with what we had. The future isn't supposed to feel overwhelming, right? But it can. It can feel super overwhelming. Sometimes the goals are so big that it makes us feel stuck. We focus on how far we have left to go, how much work remains, and how much growth is still ahead of us. And because that destination feels so distant, right? We do nothing. But I've learned something. You don't build life all at once. You build it one day at a time, one habit at a time, one decision making moment at a time, and one brick at a time. I think a lot of people are waiting for motivation to change their lives, but motivation, it comes and goes, it fluctuates. Responsibility, that stays. The people who build meaningful lives aren't necessarily the most motivated. They're the most consistent. They keep showing up again and again and again. They keep doing the work. They keep laying the bricks. And when nobody notices, even when progress feels slow, even when results aren't visible yet, they show up and put a brick down. I'm going to tell you what I believe now. Today, I believe life that we want is usually hiding inside the choices that we're avoiding, inside the responsibilities that we're resisting, inside the habits that we are postponing and putting off to the future, inside the disciplines that we're neglecting. The future isn't something that arrives one day, it's something that we're creating right now, whether we realize it or not. If you realize that the life you want won't build itself, it's not because you're incapable, right? And it's not because your dream is unrealistic, but because meaningful things require intention, they require effort, they require responsibility and stewardship, and they require time. The good news is that you don't have to build it all the day. You just have to lay today's brick and then do it again tomorrow. And one day you're going to look around and realize that the life that you once hoped for is the life that you're living now. Because that's all going to happen right now. If you're committed to building your future one day at a time, I want you to comment the word build down below, because the life you want won't appear by accident. It gets built through the choices you make every single day. You know what it is, man. I appreciate you for being here. Peace.